That's right, everybody. We're back, baby, and we are live on your Thursday edition of the Prop Stars. Got my buddy TJ over there fired up, ready to roll. Of course, we are
Yes,
going to be
sir.
talking some NFL. We do have some crazy outs and ins to talk about, some surprise starters. Got an incredible stat for you with the Seattle Seahawks. I think a little stat that's going to interest you. But we do have some NBA that we would kind of want to lead off with. TJ, isn't
Yeah.
it annoying when you take your hard-earned money and you go buy a ticket to a live event, and whenever you buy the ticket to the live event, and you know that it's a grueling schedule in the NBA, but then you hear that some of your favorite players aren't going to be playing. You're wearing their jersey, you're excited, you're ready to make a moment, take photos. The Heat were in town, or we're hosting the Warriors is what happened,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
this has sparked a whole dialogue of the whole load management topic, man. You wanna give us some thoughts about what you're thinking about the NBA
Oh, no.
and the position they're in?
Yeah, fans are pissed. Your family of four, you spent $1,000 on tickets. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, and Kuminga. None of them played. I think
That's
three out of four.
crazy.
I think 3 out of 4 is load management. Michael Jordan had the philosophy that I know that somebody up in the upper deck worked their ass off at a construction job all day to come and watch me. And I want to make sure, at least for that guy, I'm putting on a show to remember. It's just not like that anymore. They say it's because of how many reps, how many possessions they're getting now. They're moving up and down the court a lot faster. That's why all these soft tissue injuries are happening. A la Wembanyama's now hurt. It's just crazy.
Another calf strain. I know we talk about the whole footwear thing. I mean, obviously high tops versus low tops is one thing, and then you just add that they're running up and down the court. Like, I wonder how many more miles it is than is what they used to run.
Yeah, Kay Walsh says load management equals weak. I kind of agree. I mean, you just gotta. Now, I obviously see the theory behind it. As a coach, you're just trying to get your team as healthy as possible. But it's just these players have to still remember where they come from, right? And it's just brutal. I also want to congratulate Kevin and Shannon. They're up here in Orlando right now on their honeymoon. We had a great time at Disney. And that was a great time. They're going to be coming into Boathouse today, Buff. So you're going to get to meet my close friend, known him for 30-plus years, DB coach / defensive coordinator down in premier high school, South Florida high school football team. Could tell you stories about baby Jesus and Raja Bell's son, who's a big quarterback going to Texas. Some fun times.
He says he gets it for players over 40. I mean, yeah, and didn't you mention, though, when Curry got hurt, was it against Orlando, you were saying, right?
So Golden State came in, and Curry's very public about this. Orlando, the Kia Center, is one of his favorite arenas to play in. And they asked him why. He says the lighting, the court, like all these things come into play. Where the stands are compared to the backboard, like Curry, obviously, it's a mad science thing, right? And he says the Kia Center is one of his favorite places to play. So he wasn't going to miss playing the Kia Center just because he loves the lighting. He always plays good here. He got hurt towards the end of the game. The Magic, it was their biggest win of the year at home with no Banchero. They beat a Golden State team who might be a championship winner this year. If anyone could slow down OKC, but that's besides the point. But yeah, so Curry gets hurt, but there were whispers about this. I had a buddy going to the Miami Heat game yesterday with his kid and with his son, and he said that he thinks Curry's not going to play. This was 8 days ago. He said that. Back-to-back road games. So Curry was probably going to get benched either way. But, yeah, he got hurt at the Magic game, and I almost think he didn't come back in. It was real late. But, yeah, I agree, Wu-Tang. It's a different generation, and you try to keep an open mind, but I think the number one priority has to be don't forget where you came from, and there is always somebody there ready to watch you play. And it's a burden, and we got some fantasy questions coming in. Nuri, we'll get to you in a minute. We'll remember that question, though, in case the chat board starts lighting up. But, yeah, I think that's that, right? We can move on from the NBA.
Yeah, I think so. I just wanted to say one more thing. Whenever you have, like, he's saying this generation is soft and it's all comparable to, like, the guys that used to beat each other up in the, inside lane. And, you said they would walk up the ball instead of running. And it was a much more physical league. I think the footwear, I think the athleticism of the athlete is different. But no matter what, if you're going to continue to have an 82 game season, and baseball does a great job at this, okay? They have the longest season of attrition period. Whenever you have players, you have to stagger who you bench and who you start. And you just can't bench everybody who matters.
I
And you
know.
just can't put out a poor product. And there are going to be guys. And if it is over 40, which I don't think, the Warriors had all their players that they benched were over 40 by any means. But I think that you have to be cognizant. If you got 5 starters and you can't start 2, the other 3 got to go. If you can't start 3, you got to figure out how, if you're going to start 2, what kind of product you're going to put out. And I think these should be fair questions that should be asked because there's too much money involved for the athlete to get paid for what we're spending to build new arenas and stadiums and all these things. And people just want a fair value for their dollar. And, we work for a company that believes in value. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, you want the value as a ticket purchaser. That's all.
And Tyson Zandy, thanks for tuning in. I think that it's hard because it pisses me off, honestly. These guys make so much money. Let's go not like we're leaving NBA Zandy like that, but let's go where CeeDee Lamb makes $2.5 million per game. It's going to take me 25 years ish to make $2.5 million, right? Some Americans, maybe it takes me 35 years to make $2.5 million. CeeDee Lamb makes that in one game. Right. And this is the rumor that's starting to become more serious. I'm not going to bash the guy because CeeDee Lamb has had kind of a tough year. He's a great guy. He's a workhorse. He's one of the best years in the NFL. But he was seen publicly throwing up in trash cans in late night Las Vegas. And people make mistakes, and I say things like that. But
like early morning, these guys, 7 a.m. Las Vegas. He was there all night.
These guys just make so much money per game. I just wish, I wish Soto making $750 million would run hard to first. You know what I mean? I wish we take 2 to 4 hours of our week talking football or talking sports on a podcast, and it's kind of shitty sometimes that we're taking it more serious than these guys, right? It hurts my feelings. It is what it is. Who gives a fuck about my feelings, right? But It's like, sports, I've been so passionate about sports my whole life, and I just was never going to be good enough to make it to anywhere where I dreamt to be, right? Like most people. But it just hurts to see when these guys aren't taking it as serious as we are or as our kids are or as when we were kids we did. And I think that goes from load management down to what happened with CeeDee Lamb. The CeeDee Lamb thing is just a rumor, but there's a rumor that he was seen publicly throwing up in the early mornings on game day. And we know somebody personally that lost a fantasy matchup on that CeeDee Lamb drop, and that drop could have been because your equilibrium's a little off. He did not have a great game, but they say coverage was shaded towards him. Pickens was the guy. It's 1A, 1B there. But you just kind of want – Jeff says the amount of calf injuries that turn into Achilles because of how much faster the game is now and how much work, blah, blah, blah.
I'm telling you, they don't wear high tops either, man. They're wearing low tops.
We talked about that,
These
Jeff.
aren't the right. You can't wear low tops and expect to be more active and rolling around and keep all this together, man. Even bro, Kobe tore his Achilles, and if you look at the evolution of Kobe's shoes, the Kobe 9, it literally became like a whole ankle sleeve that comes up and covers and protects your Achilles and your calf. I think it's a lot to do with the balance of everything, and I think Jeff's absolutely right. There's more major injuries. The Euro step, you got all these people. Load management is a thing, but you have to be careful with how you do it. Nobody's happy with the state that the injury versus load management that the NBA has right now. It sucks.
This is the problem too. This is not from me. This is from Steve Kerr and Spoelstra, right? That they've said publicly. They said the amount of possessions, the game's way faster. That's why we have all these soft tissue injuries, right? That in their mind, that's a fact. But they also said there is no way these players or owners are going to take less money, right? Because the solution is you lower the season by 10 to 15 games, right? That's a solution. But nobody is going to have these players are not giving back more money, right? They're not going to take less. The owners aren't going to take less.
We all know that. Money's only going up.
So the solution is you take away back-to-backs, which is not going to happen, like they said, because they're not going to take less games. They're not going to make the season longer and spread it out. They don't do 5 out of 7s anymore. Every once in a while, I think they do 4 and then 3, right? 4 games a week, then 3 games a week. So it's 7 games every 14 days ish. And it's just one of those things where literally Spoelstra says he said yesterday, there's no solution to the problem. He goes, there is no solution. That's what he said. There's no solution. Spoelstra's one of the smartest guys in basketball.
Yeah, the only solution is you got Golden State saying Orlando's going to be a tougher opponent than Miami. Let's start our guys against Orlando, and then we'll sit there and rest them against Miami. I mean, I guess it's probably just as black and white as that, you know? But anyways, I know that was one of the topics we wanted to get to. You got anything else to say about NBA, the Knicks? Anything you want to talk about?
Let's
getting hot.
Yeah.
Knicks are rolling.
Yeah, let's move on. I'm gonna. Yeah, we talked about the CeeDee Lamb thing too.
You think the good old days was more athletic or faster is wild, but I'll get off.
He's talking to Tyson. He's not talking to us about that.
Yeah, but of course, I think it's so funny.
Yeah, well, it's so funny, right?
Each other. They're like on the same show. They're still taking shots.
Yeah, it's funny because I've never met a Bulls fan that doesn't think the game was better in the 90s. It's just the way it goes because Golden State has tested the Bull. You know, it took the record. It was Bulls and Golden State. Who would win? And every Bulls fan says we would destroy them. And every Golden State and a lot of NBA fans say the Bulls would not be able to keep up with Curry and the boys. I would love to see it.
People could see that is because Michael Jordan had it was him, Pippen, and you could always talk about his supporting cast. He had some better and lesser supporting cast along his championship runs, but the fact is he never had a bunch of studs. He always elevated his team, right?
Yeah. And they always do the simulations and stuff like that, and simulations have been real close, 50-50, but we're still waiting for that AI-generated game of the 1990s Bulls versus the 2010s Golden State Warriors, right? Or 2013, whatever year that was. That was their best year, but there was a few. It would be Kevin Durant's Golden State Warrior team,
right? And
AI would put them to battle, not in a video game simulation.
Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen, right? Team,
yeah, that would probably be the best team. I'd have to go back and look at like all those rosters, but it would be fun to watch, and I'm sure AI will soon have that at a pay-per-view event near you, and it'll be AI generated.
That would be fun to watch. Start putting all-time teams and that's the future of betting. Like the Celtics team from the 80s and the 90s teams and the Bulls, and it's all randomly generated, and people are going to be betting on this because athletes can't shake a game or miss a shot on purpose.
Yeah,
it's all going to be AI.
Wu-Tang's trying to spike that Jordan LeBron argument again. We're staying away from that.
Yeah, we saw that, and you saw Tyson our artificial turf causes more injuries. Okay, this is so good, bro. All right, man. Well, let's talk some football. So. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
No, go. I'm ready.
All right. So going into football, man, I think one of the more pressing stories, obviously, Shedeur Sanders is starting. Does this move the needle for Judkins for that offense? Can he get the ball? Now, I think I heard some of the talk with you and the boys on Tuesday. By the way, thank you, Jeff and Sean, for filling in as we're going through crazy life out here. But do you think Shedeur cost him that game, or do you think that it was not anything that he affected? I wanted to talk to you about that. And then what do you think he's going to have going forward for this team, and what do you think it's going to look like?
Yeah, it's going to be now Shedeur.
They had the lead when Shedeur came in last game.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit. Shedeur has handled this in a classy manner. He did not have a great game. Lamar Jackson had one of his worst games also because it was 30, 40-mile-per-hour winds. Right. It was really, really bad weather. And this is what Shedeur's got something to prove now, right? And we will see. It won't be results-oriented, right? I'm not going to judge him on results. I'm going to judge him on what I see on the field because we all know guys can drop balls, guy can do this. He doesn't have to come out and get a win and have a 70% completion percentage and throw 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. But this is going to be the eyeball test right here, right? Is Shedeur Sanders a capable NFL quarterback? Stefanski has no choice but to put him in now, but he cannot work himself to the first team without injury, right? Now, you know, a lot of guys, Kurt Warner could barely get onto an NFL roster. And when Kurt Warner got his shot as a starter, he blossomed, right? I'm not comparing the two, but I am saying that we're going to see
Don't you
right
think
now.
this is a good spot, though? Like, because you saw what Dallas just did to the Raiders in the Dome. And obviously, the Browns offense is not the Cowboys offense. But I'm saying there is a shot for Shedeur to come out and actually look rather competent on commanding an offense. You
I mean,
get
the Browns
good
have
environment. You're playing against a lackluster defense. And, I mean, I would say you have a running game. You have the defense. So go out there and manage a game. You probably get a W here.
The Browns have a good running back. They have Jerry Jeudy at receiver. They have Njoku at tight end.
On Sunday, Sean over.
Yeah. Everyone was saying like, "Oh, the Raiders' defense is pretty good." They're not good, right? The Cowboys gutted them. They played good against Denver. Denver's offense sucks,
and that's a divisional too. So your divisional opponent's better.
If the Shedeur, this is set up for somewhat of a dream situation.
Set up for a splash for Shedeur is what I think.
Yep, and like Zandy said, this is the best game for him to start. Right, this is the best game, and I don't know how Geno Smith looks so bad. Their wide receivers are horrible. Everyone's just keying on Bowers. Genty can't move Genty can't get space.
You can't even use Genty in this game unless if you use him as a receiver and line him up, because the way they're using him is just abysmal, dude. They're awful trying to get him.
Just run him into the back of your left guard or right guard and hope that he does something. I was hearing a lot of great things about Genty in training camp, and we've seen some splashes a little bit, but they can't. They can't. Well, yeah, Kevin and Jeff are having a little discussion, K. Walsh and Jeff. But, yeah, Kevin says, as a defensive mind, make Shedeur beat them, right? Load up the box, right? I don't show coverage right away, right? Kind of try to keep it a little bit, a defense somewhat camouflaged. Don't just say we're going man or we're going zone, right? Try to camouflage it a little bit and make Shedeur go to his second and third reads, right? That's what you would do with any rookie quarterback.
I think Jerry Jeudy has a decent game. I think Fannin is Njoku back? Is Njoku playing?
I think he's back. Yeah, I can see Judkins a lot of checkdowns. Yeah,
that guy's a scary dude. When he messed his face up with fireworks, came out with a mask on, looking like Hannibal Lecter. Thought that was one of the most gangster moves ever. Yeah, I think that he's got enough weapons. I think Judkins probably has a get right game here. Maybe it is a Shedeur game because Crosby in the line can stop Judkins a little bit. Judkins has been kind of sputtering a little. Jeff thinks it's a big tight end game. I really do like Fannin in this spot, and I can see Jerry Jeudy kind of getting
a lot of good tight ends. A lot of good tight ends in this game. Going to be fun to watch.
I definitely wanted to talk Shedeur. Do you think if Shedeur wins this game and comes out and say they win by 2 touchdowns, you think it's like overreaction and everybody's all over the train?
Yeah.
I think so, right? If he comes out and plays well, I think everyone just anoints him and the Browns move forward, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be kind of fun just to see the topic if Shedeur does go for 280, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and is zipping the ball around the field, right?
Everybody, most importantly, absolutely, dude. Especially because if he does start to open up, the field, that means that your boy Judkins is going to have Judkins. He's going to have a field day. I was just going to say, I think that he actually might have a couple of big runs because he hasn't really been seeing that much space with Dylan Gabriel. That's for sure. So that is kind of fun.
That is kind of funny though. Yeah, Tyson's asking what the Russian prop is on Shedeur Sanders. I'm looking at it right now. 18.5. That seems kind of high to me.
You think that's high? 18.5?
Shedeur Sanders, 18.5? I mean,
what did he run last game with his limited? How many rushes did he take?
Yeah, let's look at it. I feel like Shedeur Sanders is a.
They're only going to predicate that off of what he did last game, right?
Yeah. pull it up. All right, here we go. I got it right here. Shedeur Sanders rushed for 3 carries for 16 yards in a half. So yeah, I guess
So,
that's
and
not
that
high.
was in a half,
Yeah,
right? 3 carries.
yeah. I guess that's
Quantify
not high.
6 carries, 36. You think is kind of high. Against Max Crosby pass rush coming at you, you don't think he scrambles out a little? You think he
Well,
just
and
gets rid of
also,
the ball, right? You think he just gets rid of the ball?
yeah, I always looked at him as a pocket passer, and I saw him run in college a little bit, but I always thought that was against inferior competition. We're gonna see how good he looks with his legs, right? Against NFL competition, but maybe
Right.
he's a little quicker. Maybe he's a little quicker than I thought. But Shedeur Sanders, when you watch that Colorado offense, a lot of
Thank you, Jeff,
checkdowns,
for
a lot of
streaming this one up
checkdowns.
playing. That's legit, dude. That is pretty crazy.
Oh
He's on a
yeah,
plane
have a
right now.
safe trip to Boston. Um, yeah, I think that Shedeur is going to have a lot of checkdowns. He's not going to be throwing the ball down the field. I'm convinced of that. It's going to be a lot of short throws, and let's keep it going.
Yeah, I like fanning in that. All right, so we got no Sunday morning game. There's nothing in Europe. We go right to, of course, our Thursday night game that we're going to preview. You already have a couple of inactives in this game, right? So you get the
Yeah,
Texans and their very formidable defense going to, or I'm sorry, the Bills are going to the Texans and their formidable defense. And you do have this game, no Dalton Kincaid. You have
yep.
Keon Coleman was just announced as well 12 hours ago that he's benched. The Keon Coleman thing, is this an attitude thing? What's going
Guy
on with
missing it.
this?
Guy missed another team meeting. I can't figure it out. He's
He
obviously
was
not.
a highly drafted pick in an offense that they were losing Stephon Diggs, and they had
Yep.
a rookie, Dalton Kincaid, at the time. He was supposed to be the next wide receiver. You still have Shakir, but what is he just upset that the offense isn't built around him and that Josh Allen loves to spread the ball out because that's when Josh Allen's at his best, right?
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, Tyson. I was just gonna say, it's that kind of.
Florida
It's that
State
Florida State. It's
mentality.
that Florida State mentality, man. And the
Jeff.
guy is not. The guy is not talented enough to overcome missing team meetings. Because guess what? George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb have missed a lot of team meetings in their career, and they're playing every week, right? They might get benched for a drive, but they're not getting. They're not just getting. They're not just getting inactive. The guy seems like he doesn't have his head on straight. I'm not going to be too hard on the kid. Hopefully, he can figure it out. But physically, he isn't good enough to overcome team meetings. That's just the way it is, you know.
Yeah. You saw that
Star
they were
Spangled.
saying that he was dancing on camera last week and goofing off on the sidelines while he was benched. So, I
Yeah,
mean, there you go. I
yeah.
mean,
Oh,
I guess
gee.
he, yeah, oh yeah, they're going at it. The boys are lighting up the chat.
Yeah.
So that's a curious thing. Now, do you think that this line is at 43.5? Buffalo is given 6 on ESPN. I mean, I like the Texans in this spot, getting 6 at home with that defense. And I mean, you got Jaden Higgins going, right? You're gonna see CJ
Yeah, I
Stroud
think I'm
is
gonna.
back.
Yeah, is CJ Stroud back?
I think he might be playing, right? Isn't he not?
Oh,
I know
I
he's
was assuming.
I
I
think
was
CJ
assuming
Stroud
and
is
kind of.
questionable.
I was
What can
assuming that. Yeah, he's out. So yeah, it's gonna be
So he's already
Davis
been
Mills.
he's out for the day. All right, so he's out for the game.
Yeah,
So it's David. This is his last game out, right?
yeah. Stroud should be back, but honestly, Overman, a Nico Collins owner, and me, a Jaden Higgins owner, I somehow, some weird way, prefer to have Davis Mills in right now. He's spreading the ball around to those two guys at least. Those guys are both getting 7, 8+ targets every game. And I'll tell you what, we can all agree this: Josh Allen
Yes,
isn't
on
going
Thursday
for
night. Though.
Josh Allen isn't going for 64 fantasy points this week, right? We could all agree on that. And
Yeah, I
he's
would
not.
definitely say 6 touchdowns not happening. I really like the
Yeah,
Texans defense in this spot. And it's a Thursday night game. The line's at 43.5. Usually whenever you feel the unders, it like always has a way to find its way to go over. You know what I mean? Like in an
yeah.
ugly game like this.
And there's only one way to stop a great quarterback, and that's to bring pressure without having to blitz, right? And the Texans can do that, right? So the Texans can bring pressure without having to blitz the farm. Josh Allen's going to have, I think, somewhat of obviously a harder time than he had with the Tampa Bay Swiss cheese Buccaneers last week. Here, let's go back to, since we're talking football, let's go to Niori's question. starting? Does he start JMO or K9 this week?
I don't know. I kind
Full
of like JMO
PPR.
over K9. K9 hasn't done much for us, and
Yeah,
he's in a murky backfield. And who is Seattle even playing? They are. We have a fun little. Oh, they're at the Titans. They do, and that's kind of crazy because I thought that Woody Marks was going to have a great game against the Titans, and that was in Tennessee, and they kind of hemmed him up. I feel like maybe the Titans actually have a decent running stop defense, even though they were averaging over 5 yards a clip early on. I swear, every time you want to start somebody against them and you expect big numbers, it just doesn't come to fruition. I kind of lean JMO on this one personally, especially in a full point
yeah,
PPR. They've been
and
getting the ball. He's got momentum. I think
yeah.
this is definitely the spot. Dan Campbell's making calls for him.
Ever since the offensive coordinator said we have to focus more on getting JMO the ball, they've been getting him the ball. And they're not just getting him the ball on streaks and bombs. They're actually getting him on the intermediate routes also, not just using him to stretch the field, right?
Right.
But Detroit, they're kind of one of those teams when they struggle offensively, you really want to take them the next week. Now, JMO didn't struggle last week, but the whole offense kind of did. Jahmyr Gibbs, actually, I think JMO and Jahmyr Gibbs might have both had over 100 yards, or it was close, I know Gibbs had over 100 yards receiving, but JMO's getting more involved. Laporta is going to be out for a few weeks, so JMO's stock skyrockets, I think, when Laporta's out. I think that's the main reason why he's been doing good. And, Kenneth Walker, that's a backfield by committee right now. I don't like it. Full PPR.
I talked about it.
JMO.
You never know what Seattle even needs to beat the Titans. I just don't think it's going to take everything they have. Some games the Seahawks are beaten by their defense. Some games it's JSN and Darnold. Other games it's the running game. I mean, Sam Darnold had a win and he only threw the ball, was it 9 times or something like that? You said the other day.
Yeah.
I mean,
Giants secondary sucks too, by the way.
Yeah,
you
just don't know how much that Seattle really needs to overcome Tennessee, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be a whole lot. Maybe it's Kenneth Walker on a couple big breakaways, but I would say consistency wise, I definitely like JMO in that matchup. Next game on the docket, you do
hold on 1 second. Star Spangled asks us, why does Josh Allen have the most tragic arm in NFL history? I'm not even sure what that means. He can launch a 70-yard missile on a dime, but every January that same arm. I don't know about that. I think Josh Allen has done really, really good in the playoffs. He just hasn't got to the Super Bowl yet, but he's got playoff wins. He literally last year got straight up screwed by 2 horrible calls by the refs. That's why they lost to the Chiefs. But he's pretty much in the AFC Championship game or right up there every year. He wins in the playoffs, and the guy's a stud. He just hasn't got to the Super Bowl yet. But I don't straight judge you on wins and losses in January. But I know that's fine. Yeah, Star Spangled, we're just having fun here. I get it. I like, and that's kind of what sports talks about, right? We're allowed to bust balls and have fun. But yeah, I love Josh Allen. Guy's a beast on and off the field. Not a bad looking wife either. Guy's doing okay for himself.
Tyson's got Lions and Seahawks in Survivor. Love that. Obviously, I know my Survivor picks were already locked and loaded this week. I think I had like Lions and Ravens or something that were looking wonderful. I like your picks, Tyson. We're pulling for you, buddy. You're one of the last ones in there, man. And I hope that luck stays on your side, buddy. Let's keep that rolling.
He's got a 1 out of 10 chance, or he's got a 10% chance to take it down, I think. And honestly, with 2 pick weeks, it can literally just happen like that, right?
It's so true.
Also, in 2 pick weeks,
get the other way.
Last year, the 2 pick weeks, there was 6 left. 6. And they all lost.
Yeah, everyone.
So they all came back. So it's like, it was funny because my one buddy thought he was out. And then at the end, he's like yelling at the TV, hoping that this team would lose. Then everybody would have a loss, and they all came back the next week.
All right, Tyson. I would have had Detroit and Baltimore this week. And then the next 3 weeks, I would have had the Chargers. I would have had Cleveland and San Francisco for 13, 14, and 15. But this week, I would have had Detroit and Baltimore. And I think they both have plus matchups for sure. Love that. Yeah. So the next game on the docket would be the Colts at the Chiefs. This is kind of put up or shut up for the Chiefs, huh?
Well, I was joking on the Tuesday show that I still have the Kansas City Chiefs as number one
Right.
on my
I
power
heard you. Yeah,
rankings.
yeah, yeah, as like a power
I mean,
ranking, like 100%.
it's
That's
kind of
fair.
like a real thing, but they have to win this game, or if they don't win this game, then they're in a straight position where they have to win out to make the playoffs, which is just so unrealistic.
I feel
But
like all
I
the
just
sharps are
can't.
going to be leaning on them, right? Just because it's outdoor, they're home, they can't lose. Daniel Jones outside. I mean, it
I
just
mean,
seems
what is
like
that?
this is
Yeah,
it's not the most perfect spot to be playing one of the better teams in the NFL, but it seems like this is about as good as it gets if you're going to play the Colts. When do you need to play the Colts, right?
yeah, yeah. I think that I thought last week there's no way the Chiefs are losing, even though it was at Denver. I thought the Chiefs coming off a bye were not going to lose that game. I think the Chiefs got to get off the Kareem Hunt train, to be honest with you. Get Brashard Smith involved. Kareem
They
Hunt
got
just doesn't
Pacheco
get you.
back healthy this week. Pacheco's a healthy
Pacheco's
start.
back healthy. The problem with Kareem Hunt is there's just no free yards with him, right? Like
Yeah.
he's going to get you 4 to 6, and he's a pretty good goal line back. But Kareem Hunt he's heavy, he's sluggish, and he's never going to turn like a 6 yard gain into like a 48 yard gain, right?
Right. I hear
And
you, Kevin Walsh. I just think that the Chiefs or D line per se with Chris Jones and whatnot. I think they're going to make it tough for Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor might be one of the only bright spots on that Colts offense this week. I think I don't like the under on this game. I don't see how it goes 49.5. I think that the Chiefs kind of lock up the Colts again, kind of what we saw Pittsburgh do to them. And I'm not saying
yeah,
it's the exact same result, but I mean, kind of feels that way to me as I'm going into this.
yeah, let's talk about that, Sean. So the rumor was that the Jets wanted a 3rd round pick for Brees Hall.
Right.
The Chiefs offered a 4th round pick, and they both stayed firm. And that's why a deal didn't get done. If you're the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, you've run an amazing organization, obviously, for the last few years, but you might have missed the mark there, right? Pacheco can't stay healthy. Has not been healthy for the last couple of years. Kareem Hunt is not a guy you could throw a screen pass to that could take it to the house. Brees Hall would have been a perfect running back for that team, I think. And rumor has it was a 3rd round pick. The Chiefs said no, we're only going to give a 4th round pick. And maybe they thought the Jets were going to budge, but the Jets didn't budge. And now the Chiefs, you could arguably say the Chiefs lost that game because they didn't have a running back that has burst. They don't trust Rashad Smith yet for some reason. I don't know why there. But back to that Colts. Man, Colts have so many weapons with Pierce, with Downs, with Pittman, with Jonathan Taylor. It's literally just pretty much if Daniel Jones. Now, Daniel Jones only had one bad game, right? But we're just all waiting for the Daniel Jones, the non-improviser Daniel Jones. The Daniel Jones, when he's in a rhythm, there's nobody better. But when Daniel Jones gets thrown monkey wrenches, he tends to fold like a lawn chair. And Tyler Warren, which I didn't even mention. They have a team. That offense is loaded. And this is a big game for them because they know they have to get home field advantage, I feel like, to have a realistic chance to go to the Super Bowl. If all those games are in Indianapolis, and the road goes through Indy, I think Indianapolis will be favored to go to the Super Bowl, to be honest with you, if it goes through Indy. But
yeah, no, that's a very interesting thing. I think when you're looking at it, like the Colts, just like you said, they have everything on paper. Can Danny Dimes put it together in a big moment against one of the big teams, like the Chiefs, like the Bills, like the Ravens? You got to go through the boys. So guess what? You want to be in that conversation? Go get it, right? After the way you shit the bed against the Steelers, you got to wake up. You got to get excited. This is your life. Get excited about going in and playing the kingdom, bro. Everybody knows you got the Chiefs still number one power ranking. Nobody's writing the Chiefs off 5-5, whatever it is. Like, just go out there and get it. But the thing I don't like about the way the Chiefs are just force feeding the ball to Rashee Rice. And like, I feel like Thornton is one of their underused weapons right now. Every time you look at Tyquan Thornton, guys just making plays. And you just keep feeding the ball to Rashee Rice. I don't understand it. I mean, Andy Reid is this genius, and he's got no running back, and we've never seen Andy Reid be a genius with no running back before. I feel like this is a very weird spot in season for the Chiefs in general. Overall, they're not really doing Chief things. They're not chiefing. They're not, taking on the Andy Reid personality. I feel like they're doing a lot of the things that we're not used to. like they're not running the ball, and they're 5-5. We've never seen them be this bad this far, and everyone still thinks they're going to figure it out. Rashee Rice came back. It's all going to be okay. It's not okay, and they're still not right now. And God forbid if they do lose this game, I think we'll have a much different conversation going into next week. They're still not out of it by any means, but I do think this is a more important game for KC than Indy.
It's crazy though, because when you watch that offense, like it just still looks good to me, but they just I
love
can't
the wake
figure
and
it
bake
out.
Wu-Tang. Tip of the hat to you, sir.
I can't figure out why the Chiefs can't move the ball. I really can't.
I'm
they're moving the ball, but I just can't. They're moving the ball. I just can't figure out why they're not winning. Because no doubt, if they make the playoffs, I was joking on Tuesday that I said that if it's week 17 or week 18 and the Chiefs win and they're in the playoffs, every coach that's in the playoffs in the AFC will be watching that Chiefs game, right?
Yes.
Because nobody is going to want to play the Chiefs. I don't care if they have 3 road games. Right. Nobody's going to want to play the Chiefs in the playoffs. And
100%.
Yeah, no one's going to watch the Chiefs. All right, let's go to Steelers-Bears. So Aaron Rodgers has an injury, right? Thank God it's his non-throwing arm. Yeah. It's a hairline fracture in his wrist. My daughter had a hairline fracture when she was 2. And she broke off the cast in 3.5 weeks and was bopping me over the head with it. So I'm assuming if Aaron Rodgers can't play this week, he'll be back. But Steelers are 6-4 with the Ravens chopping on their heels. Every game matters. Jalen Warren's kind of hobbled.
Has not been ruled out yet. They are not ruling him out.
Yeah, I mean, I could be honest with you. I don't know if Mason Rudolph is that big of a drop off for one game. Bears are 7-3, and they're finding a way to win. And this is a real interesting game. Bears fans, Tyson in particular, is saying, let them play. They want the Steelers' best. They want Aaron Rodgers in Chicago and kind of maybe give Rodgers a little taste of his own medicine. You know what Rodgers has done.
He always flash the belt at him. Discount double check. Discount double check every time he would beat the Bears.
But it's kind of crazy because the Steelers are going to be 6-5 if they lose this game. And the Ravens, they don't look great yet, but we assume the Ravens are going to catch their stride, right? Yeah. So the Steelers cannot lose. They cannot lose this game. I think it's a winnable game for them. And Chicago's at home -2.5.
Yeah,
over-under's 45.5.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes you think these teams are real close, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know exactly what to make of it. I'm not even going to say it's going to be a one-possession game, even though Chicago just seems like they only play one-possession games. But this is going to be one of those interesting games.
Does this game have everything to do with Caleb, or does it have everything to do with the Bears running game? Because I feel like if Monagai and Swift can get going against that, then I feel like it's easy treading for the Bears. But as soon as they get shut down, say the Steelers run D really shows up, I feel like it's going to be a real hard press game for Caleb.
I think you could argue. I think you could argue the Bears have I think the Bears have maybe the best weapons in all of football. Like,
I mean, they have the better offense out of the two teams, right?
They have Swift and Montague, both running backs look the part when they touch the ball. They have
2 tight ends.
They have 2 tight ends. We all know about Odunze, DJ Moore, Luther Burden. Zacchaeus, that was kind of weird how they didn't even put him in the game. I know he had a lot of drops against the Giants, but Zacchaeus is one of Caleb Williams' favorite targets when it comes to like those quick third down routes, those little zig routes. He's a really hard guy to cover. But
so
Luther Burden
Tyson, you guys
is going to be a beast.
I feel like they got to run the ball, take the game out of Caleb's hands a little bit. You got to have that running game going against him, man.
They just have so many offensive weapons. I think Ben Johnson's just like, God, I want to just get the ball to these weapons. Like,
yeah,
Luther
you don't always
Burden,
like to ride your Jeep when you have a Ferrari, a Lambo. Yeah. You're like, let's take some of these, What are you gonna do?
If Luther Burden was on the Giants, I don't know. It's hard to tell. But if Luther Burden was on a team that didn't have so many good receivers, he could be like an 80 to 100 catch guy. You watch this guy play, man, this guy is a beast, bro. And this could be one of his breakout games, I think. A lot of weapons to be spread out there.
I think the Bears run the ball 25 to 30 times. I think it's going to be a lot of Swift and Montague. I think you're going to see a couple scrambles by Caleb, and I think that they're going to try to play this one a little close to the chest because they know they have the better offense. They'll make the play. They'll splash. Aaron Rodgers with one wrist. God, that's tough. You imagine he's in the game and he gets hit on his blind side. You know what I mean?
Know.
Like, that's a risk. And I think if it's Mason Rudolph, the Bears win walking away. I think if it's Aaron Rodgers, it's probably a closer game.
Yeah. Rodgers has looked pretty good this year. It's going to be interesting. Let's go to
I just think he's still got it, and we've seen him in the situations when they lean on him, they need him. He comes through. It seems like it's the Steelers defense that's been letting him down, right?
Let's go to the Patriots Bengals. You are real passionate about this because you think the Bengals could maybe make a run, but we all know they cannot lose another game, right? They have to do almost like what they did last year. They almost did it last year, right?
Say Joe Burrow's a full participant in practice, and they're saying he's not coming back until next week against the Thanksgiving game against the Ravens, okay? Now, my devil's advocate point is that if they win out, they're 10-7.
Yeah.
You just can't lose another game. There's people in fantasy that are in the same predicament. You cannot lose another game. They're officially in playoff mode. Now, do they have a better chance starting Flacco against the Patriots or Joe Burrow against the Patriots coming off the rust? I can
be honest with you. Jamar Chase spitting on Ramsey
is ruining.
That's a big, and I think that maybe since Jamar Chase is out, maybe they're just going with Flacco because they just don't think they think the season's kind of over. But Tyson, to answer your question, Burrow was back at practice, but Burrow, they said, will most likely not play this game. And
you don't think that's a mistake, but what if they do win this game? Then you play for sure Burrow next week against the Ravens in hopes that you get the hotness going, right?
Let me run this scenario by which, I disagreed with you all up until now when I played this off in my head, right? I thought you were dead wrong until I just played this off. Now I think you're dead right. Burrow comes back without Jamar Chase at home and beats New England, which isn't that crazy. New England is beatable, right? Yep. Now they're 4-7. Burrow is the reason why they won this game versus New England, right? Now Burrow gets to go on Thanksgiving night, plays Baltimore. They win that
shitty Sean Munson's soft defense. You know what I mean? Soft as Munson's belly.
Yeah, I think Gonzalez is a little overrated, but that's whatever. Anyways, if Cincinnati wins that game, now all of a sudden they're 4-7 going to, or I think it's in Baltimore, going to Baltimore to play the Ravens with their leader Burrow back, with Jamar Chase coming back. Now they win that game. Now they're 5-7, and they arguably just beat two of the really good teams in the NFL. Now they have confidence, but instead they're going to roll out Joe Flacco. If Burrow could practice, Burrow could play, right? And
the problem is that the Bengals still have no defense, and we understand that. And you need Joe Burrow in there if you're going to really keep up with any kind of offense that you're going to go against, right? And like the Bengals just haven't been able to make the key stops other than a couple moments in the season. I feel that the safe play that the Bengals are going to do, they're probably not going to play Burrow. If they somehow win, then everything, like you said, starts to roll.
Yeah.
But they have to win this. If they lose this game, then they probably go into next week and the season's over, and then they just start getting Burrow healthy for next year, and you probably don't run Burrow out for the rest of the year, right?
Nah, you still gotta play Burrow. Unfortunately, you just can't.
You still play Burrow and risk it though, because obviously, I mean,
but you're saying that if the Bengals lose this week with Joe Flacco at quarterback, you don't think that Joe Burrow plays the rest of the
then
year?
They'll be 3-8. Are you really going to make the playoffs at 9-8?
No, you're not going to make the playoffs. You're 3-8
with the AFC. And then, like, why would you risk a Jaden Daniels potential injury on your guy who just shouldn't even be out there when the season's over? And like, you already got all these little nag injuries, and I don't know. I just feel like it's a real mucky bed. I know Joe Burrow's probably going to have a say in it. I'm sure he wants to play because that's the kind of dude he is. But as a Bengals, like as management, you're like, look, this is where we have all of our money invested. Maybe it's best that we just pull back and we start to like build our defense and just start rolling in that aspect for until next season. I mean, I know it's not sexy by any means, but God, you're about to lose and be 3-8. If you win, it's totally
Yeah, you
different.
got to roll out. Yeah, there's pride though. You got to roll out your guys. But either way, let's go to the next game. Jets at Ravens. Not much to talk about here. I mean, whatever, right? Baltimore's going to win. It's at
This is why I
home.
had the Ravens in my survivor pick, bro. It's home against the Jets. Jets
And
did
Tyson
not
has
have
the
any
Ravens
business.
also. Tyson has the Ravens also. He's got the Ravens also with the Lions.
Nice. All right, yeah. Love those picks.
Seahawks at Titans. Cam Ward's Calvin Ridley's out for the year. Cam
All
Ward
right,
has
so
to
let's talk
figure it
about this.
out.
We have this little thing. So Seattle's favored on ESPN by 13.5. The line's 40.5, right?
Yeah.
Seattle is 8-2 against the spread. That was a little caveat that our producer Gene wanted us to throw out there. And I think that's huge, right? So 8-2 against the spread, but this is a road spread. I feel like it doesn't take much for them to like make this on a backdoor, right? Just one more touchdown or whatever. You know, you could be up by 7 all game, score one more. The Titans, Tony Pollard doesn't have the pop. Tajay Spears looks okay. How can you run out anybody on their defense? Ridley came back for one game and he's back out. He's done. I can't
He's
believe when I
year.
looked up and I saw Ridley was playing. I was like, okay. I even went and snagged him in one league just in case, right? I'm watching the games. Obviously, I'm busy. I look up and Calvin Ridley's on a cart and he's going back into the back of the stadium. I was like, what just happened to Calvin Ridley? He just played for the first time and he's done for the year. They just have like the worst luck. Hey, at least they're playing for another top draft pick. And I know nobody tanks this early on in the year, but like if you're Cam Ward and them, you're like, what else can we get on our team to help us get better in the future? And maybe you just understand you try to do some things, but they got no business challenging in Seattle. This defense of Seattle is legit. I said, I don't know what way Seattle's going to beat the Titans. They got 3 phases of football and they can win on special teams. They can win on defense, or they could just pummel them on offense. I think you just take your poison on this one and move on. Seattle 8-2 against the spread with such a big home number for the Titans. I don't know. I probably stay away from that one, but 8-2 sounds like it's they're 7-3. I would say just maybe go with the number and take it and see what happens, man.
Yeah, and the Seahawks don't beat the good teams, but they crush the shitty teams, right?
Sure. That's a good point.
That's a Seattle's MO. That's what they are right now, right? They're not really good enough to beat those elite teams, but they stomp the shitty teams, right? So
and after that awful performance by Darnold, you would definitely imagine him bouncing back right against the Titans.
Oh yeah, they're gonna crush it. They're gonna annihilate the
all right, so Vikings and Packers. This has a lot of implications, divisional. Obviously, JJ McCarthy loves to play big in these divisional games for whatever reason. This is a game I think the Packers have to win. They've been looking so bad. They seem to lose to every shitty team, but play the good teams close. It's in Green Bay. The Packers have no Josh Jacobs, right? So this is a huge deal. This is Elijah Mitchell's backfield right now. I think that
not Elijah Mitchell, Emmanuel Wilson, right?
Emmanuel Wilson. There you go. Yeah, sorry, mixing up the E's. Emmanuel Wilson. I think that he's kind of a scat back too. He catches the ball too, right?
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay is one of those frustrating
do you think they're
teams.
going to plot him and he's just going to go through? I feel like he's going to have a lot of work. And I know the Vikings have a decent line.
I talked to one Green Bay fan. He's actually a part owner of the Green Bay Packers because his father lived in the town. It's a big story, but his name
the whole
is
town owns
Glenn.
the team. You get tickets, you're a part owner,
Exactly. Just a great guy. And he says that a lot of Packer fans, when Jordan Love gets hurt, they don't worry at all about Malik Willis running the show there. And they feel like Willis kind of brings that mentality of we're going to move the ball any way we can. And obviously we know he's not scared to run, but in the cold with a great defense, some good running backs, one of the best offensive lines in football, Jordan Love is a drop back passer. Malik Willis is a running quarterback. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he kind of gives them some spunk sometimes. Now, Jordan Love should be back this week, but I think Green Bay rolls in this game. Minnesota, JJ McCarthy is not ready for the NFL. And I just think that Green Bay's defense, Parsons is going to give them help.
I just think, sure. For whatever reason, every time that we've been in this spot, JJ McCarthy's there at the last second, mucking everything up. and everyone, like all the sharps, seem to like him and what he brings to the table. Every time I like to bet against JJ McCarthy, he seems to come through on the other end. I think the Packers should win this game. The Packers should
Yeah.
dominate them. We'll see if that happens, right? That's definitely I'm with you on this game. What do you think about the line at 41.5?
Yeah. I could see Green
That's
Bay
really
just running
low,
the
right?
ball. Yeah, it's low, like 30-10. You win if you take the under. But yeah, like what K Walsh says, Wu Tang says, JJ, even though it's a small sample size, every quarterback. The thing is, he never did anything sexy in college except for win a national championship, which I'm not diminishing that. But Harbaugh in college protected him so much.
Yeah.
I just thought it was fascinating to see a quarterback go in the top 10 when his college coach didn't trust him. You know what I mean? And like, you can't say, oh, that's Harbaugh's mentality, because Harbaugh is not scared to throw it 40, 50 times a game with Herbert. You know what I mean? Harbaugh didn't trust McCarthy. And it was one of those crazy draft elevations I think we've ever seen. Like, McCarthy was a second, third, fourth round quarterback, a little bit of a project, but, had all the tools. And now he's a top 10 pick because he's a quarterback. And if you need a quarterback, you take your chance because you never know who's going to be the next Tom Brady.
I know what you were thinking,
or Dak
K-Wash.
Prescott, or
You were thinking you took JJ early and you're going to get that late combo that nobody was thinking about for one of the top receivers in the league. You got to have a quarterback to get him to 2,000 yards. You thought you had like a super easy, cheap QB elite receiver combo, and it just powder kegs right in your face, man. I know exactly what you mean.
yeah.
I'm sure that you were happy with your draft looking at it because you had all the depth in between. Late quarterback probably looked sexy all the way through. And then here we are. I think that JJ, I think he needs another year for any of us to really like get an accurate take on him, because I think he's better than what people are saying. And it's such a win now league. And he's won some games. That's the Bears and that's the Packers. I mean, or the Lions. I'm sorry. He's won some games he shouldn't have won. And let's just say that he beat Detroit in Detroit. And nobody saw that coming, like,
it's a very small sample size. He could be good. I just don't. Yeah, I'm just shocked. He just should never have been a top 10.
There's just certain players that whenever you see these, like, they're volatile to bet against, is all I'm saying. Like, there's too many unforeseen circumstances. The last 1:00 game, Jackson Dart is back again.
Hope so. We'll see.
No, he's coming back. He's cleared protocol, right? Whatever. I think he's going to go, and I think if he goes, I think he becomes one of the top starting options in your fantasy lineup.
Yeah.
I think that you really want Jackson Dart late. Have you seen the Giants' schedule? The Giants' schedule is very favorable if you got Jackson Dart. And if you don't like your quarterback and what you were saying, like how you got to really play matchup because you got Bo Nix, Jackson Dart. I think there's a lot of plus matchups for Jackson Dart in the Giants. No matter what, Jackson Dart, I know he runs the ball and people don't like the way he gets hit, but the guy, he runs the ball. So he moves the needle with his legs. He's got a good arm. And
he's a great athlete. He's a great athlete. Our producer was pushing the Jackson Dart agenda 3 months before the draft, and I thought he was crazy. Then the Giants end up drafting him, and I was excited just because of what our producer, Gene, told us 3 months before the draft. Now, Jackson Dart looks like the home run pick as long as he can stay out of the emergency room, right?
Yeah.
But, I'm so excited for the Giants next year in training camp to see Scatterboot, Dart, and Neighbors. I mean, there should be billboards. They should be on the side of the Empire State Building. Just, you know what I mean? I hope those guys.
It should be like the Hangover billboard where it shows like the Hangover guys in the background, and then it shows your three guys, and it says three best friends anyone could have.
Yeah, the
three best friends,
baby.
Bro. Let them be.
Yeah.
I love the Giants in this spot, by the way. You're on the road at the Giants getting 10. I like that. Give me Jackson Dart 10 points all day long. I don't care because Detroit's showing susceptibility. They're not this juggernaut defense. I know Jackson Dart, if you run away from Aiden Hutchinson and you got Tyrone Tracy getting hit out of the backfield, you can really negate what he does and what they're trying to do on the pass rush. I think he's the perfect antidote for it, and I really think you guys beat the point spread. I'm on the Giants. The G-men this week. Let's go.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I hope you're right. I think that as a Giant fan, you just want to see your quarterback stay healthy and grow, right? Dart has ascended to one of the best fantasy quarterbacks in the league, but he's also turned into a league favorite kind of guy with Scatterbo. That's why that injury was such a dagger. But you just want Dart to stay healthy, learn how to get down, and like Archie Manning tells his grandson, Arch Manning, get out or get down. It's just, you know what I mean? In the postseason, do what you got to do. But in the regular season, just get out or get down.
Get out or get down, man.
Jaguars, Cardinals. Cardinals are falling apart. As we all knew what would happen, Brissett is not the savior of that franchise.
Can you believe Brissett threw 50 or 60 times last game, and now he's everyone's waiver wire darling? You could keep him. He's never going to do that again.
Yeah.
That's one of his best games he's had in his career, let alone.
I mean, they went down. I think they went down 21-0 earlier, 21-7 early.
Yeah, bro.
It was just.
And I heard a lot of people clamoring for him. Marvin Harrison Jr. is out. He's not playing this week. I mean, you do get Trey Benson back, I think. I know his window's open back up, and he might be back this week. We'll see what they say about him coming into, what his practices look like and coming into the weekend. But it's a lot of the same. It's Brissett. You're missing your biggest weapon. It's going to be a lot of McBride. If you're a McBride owner, that's phenomenal. I think if you're Trey Benson, you're excited he's coming back because that's much needed. Because Bam Knight's okay. You saw that big run last week was called back or something like that. Unbelievable. As a Bam Knight owner, I know that had to be a kick in the nuts, dude. I finally got the call right. They take it back.
I know. It's Arizona, man. I don't know what they do there. I think they're going to just ride out.
Fucking lost to Arizona, bro. It drives me crazy, our record
and
how
crazy.
We can play with certain teams. And the fact that we shit the bed and lost that, it was definitely a shit the bed scenario for us. Because
I think Dallas is so good, man. Dallas can be so good. Their
they got the
looks
potential.
Really good.
And we're going to go ahead and talk about that going forward because I will say I think that the Jaguars do roll in this game. They can be 7-4 if they win this game. Now, they don't look very sexy at all. They look kind of Jekyll Hyde-ish is the way I like to describe them, because we've seen the good and the bad Trevor this year. And there's still the Trevor where he's wide open. He just darts it right in front of the receiver, or he's dropping dimes downfield. I feel like he's still growing for whatever that means, because he's been around a few years. I still feel like he's figuring out how to win. And he's actually got a winning record. The Jaguars stand behind him. Kind of a tricky little game here, but they should win. Absolutely, they should win. I hear you, Walsh. You're saying Dallas is limited by Dak. I disagree.
That's a tough take. I mean, he hasn't won a big playoff game, but Dak looks real good.
There's a lot of players that are great statistically that never get to a Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl. It takes.
He said he's already nervous about December.
He's not.
He's got to get.
I'm not nervous about December. We're literally gonna sit there and chuck and duck in every fucking game, and we're gonna be there. You know what I mean? It's just we have no defense.
So we have Star Spangled Banner or whatever saying that Josh Allen's arm is tragic.
Right.
You got this. It's a tough group, bro. It's a tough group to keep.
I'm telling you, man, it's tough.
Pretty much, if you're not Super Bowl Tom Brady, or you're not Super Bowl Patty Mahomes,
right,
or you're not John Elway. Right. Then you're trash. You're limited by your quarterback.
It's 100%.
This is the guy that will die on the Brock. This is the guy that K. Walsh is not a fan of Herbert either, but Brock Purdy he will take a bullet for. So
the guy who drops the championship trophy in the locker room after he wins it, and glass goes everywhere. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. I will say, anyways, I'm gonna parlay this. I think Dallas beats the Eagles this week. I think we're the unexpected win. I think that the line is really close. There's no reason that we can't make this close. We had a chance to beat him if not for some CeeDee Lamb drops. CeeDee Lamb got benched after throwing up in Vegas. He had a major drop that cost your boy DCast. I saw Pickens
Yep.
getting off because Lamb was getting shaded. I think this is a CD Lamb game. I think he ate up the Eagles last time. I think he eats them up. I think Javonte gets off. I think that we move the ball, and I think that we could definitely play some pivotal defensive, moments because it's against a divisional team who we know so well. It's going to take Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown to beat us. If they do not get off, I'll give Devontae Smith. Hurts has to connect with one of his big receivers to beat us. If he does not, I think we win this game. It's going to take a huge game by one of the receivers, and it's going to be against DeRon Bland being embarrassed or whatever it is. But if they don't throw the ball on us, I don't think Saquon beats us. We held him to 60 yards. I can see Saquon maybe getting 100 this game. Maybe he, rattles it back. But I don't know, man. We got Overshown back. We got Dexter. We got our boys actually playing some pretty stout defense, and we did. Genty's Genty, but we did hem up the Raiders last week, and we were all over them. And if we get into the backfield, I see the recipe. Nobody's going to be picking us. This is our week to beat the Eagles. I'm telling you right.
Yeah, and I agree. And also,
we'll be
back to the Jackson.
5-1. We're going to be right there. Eagles are 8-2. This is not a bad loss for the Eagles. It's a split for them no matter what. It's a split for us if we win. We need this game. We are home. I just think that if Dallas loses, obviously, it's curtains. This is a must-win for us. We're in playoff mode, and I think that we're kind of playing a little bit more, a little bit more spice, a little more reinvigoration just from the whole Vegas thing. And Raiders are Raiders, but you got to beat up on the good teams. You got to get right. That's all.
Kyle Singer's asking, who do you start full PPR, Shakir or Dubes? Or Dobbs, however you say his name. I am leaning towards Shakir there. I know the Texans have a good defense, but
I'm leaning
no Keon Coleman. No Keon Coleman. I think that with Green Bay playing at home, that's close. The thing with Dobbs, he had a lot of bad drops last game. Let's see really quick how many targets he had.
He had a couple bad drops, and I do like the fact that going forward, I mean, they've been using him. And obviously, he goes through some big games and big catches. Christian Watson's really kind of blossomed to that offense because
Watson's kind of their number. Yeah, Watson's kind of their number one now.
So you're looking at, and they have no Musgrave, right? Or I mean, it is Musgrave. It's
there's obviously Kraft is out, right? Kraft is out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was talking about, Kraft. So it's Musgrave. He's not the guy. I do like it's either Dubes or Shakir. I don't know. I kind of like Dubes just because I don't like the Thursday night, and it's a tough Thursday night start against. I mean, is Shakir going to line it up against the Texans? Probably not.
Well, yeah, there's no Keon Coleman, and with the Texans pass rush, Josh Allen's going to have to get the ball off quick. Texans stop the run. Shakir.
I can see a case for it.
I'm actually going back and forth now. I totally forgot.
Shakir hasn't been doing much, man. I would hate for you to risk it with Shakir on a Thursday night. I'd rather take Dubes or Dobbs on later on in the week and not on the Thursday. We talk about this. Sometimes you got to play your matchup,
The thing that scares me about
Shakir, he just had a baby.
The thing that worries me about Shakir is that the Bills put up 44 points last game, and Shakir had one catch for -3 yards. Now, we've seen this before. We've seen this before because once you have a bad game like that, Josh Allen kind of goes to you and goes, "Hey, we're gonna improve on that, right?"
Right.
Is this game in? All right, it's in Texas, so it's going to be an indoor game. I know, Kyle. I hate Thursday night games too.
I hate Thursday night games, man. I benched Drake May for Dak Thursday to Monday. It was the right call. Didn't matter. It's the right call.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm on the fence here. That's a real close one. You're gonna have to do a little bit of a deeper dive. I mean, Dobbs is getting 8 more targets a game.
He's getting more consistent. I mean, he's a bigger part of the offense on a more consistent basis. That's why I lean Dobbs.
Yeah, I think I'm going to end up going back.
Doesn't have a situational chance to perform tonight. But I mean, I could see the Bills winning 21-17 and just being ugly. Josh Allen touchdown, James Cook touchdown, Dalton Kincaid touchdown, wrap it up. You know what I mean? Like, Shakir could get like 4 for 45. It's like what I see him, but I don't know.
I know it's hard to picture. It's hard to, yeah. and also Shakir, he's not going to have a big game. Dobbs can have a big game. Albert, thanks for subscribing, man. He needs some advice. He wants to play Marks tonight or Genty on Sunday. Oh, Marks all day long. I'm starting Woody Marks over Genty versus
Thanks
the
for the
Browns.
like and sub. You're definitely starting Woody Marks over Genty, honestly, for the
Especially in a full
That's gotta be
PPR.
tough, but yeah, it's got to be tough. Woody Marks is
Woody
gonna have a better game
Marks,
than what he did last week.
he's getting some catches, right?
Yeah.
We're pulling it up.
I will
I'm pulling up real quick.
just because I know you're into, everyone keep an eye out. TG might have another podcast coming to you. You're into the drama and some of the celeb stuff. But it was on record that Cardi B said to Stephon Diggs' other baby mama, said, well, I guess we're going to have to raise our kids together. And she's all about this whole community parenting group and like having Stephon Diggs and all the baby moms and all the babies and everyone hang out. She already did it with Offset or whoever it was and the other baby mama. And everyone's just like going to come together. You're going to see that's just one big happy family. I think it's hilarious how all that works out. You're not going to have to worry about Stephon Diggs. He's got plenty of baby mamas helping raise his baby. That's for sure.
Oh, I have an inside source that Andy Cohen from Bravo is putting a bag of money on Stephon Diggs' doorstep and saying, please, let's get a reality TV show with this. Please.
Yeah, that'd
be supposedly my sources are saying that the Bills ownership the Patriots ownership is really trying not to have that happen. Robert Kraft is like, we don't want you on television. It's already bad enough. But Albert, thank you for listening. Yeah, I know it's hard to bench Genty, and your team must be pretty good if you're benching Genty for Woody Marks. I'm going Woody Marks tonight versus soft Bills defense. Giant T says Dobbs is limited in practice with a wrist. That might be why he dropped so many balls versus the Giants, because he did not look right. And one drop was like this, which that would be your wrist if you didn't.
Yeah, that would be your wrist.
So
right in front of him. Yeah, I would look at that injury and definitely make sure that that's the right call, because injuries.
Yeah, and we said that also. We also said that, Kyle. That's why I said Shakir right away, because there's no Coleman. But now the more I think about it, I've been a Shakir fan for a lot of years, but he's just now. You said it's a PPR, right? So that's Shakir benefits that because Shakir can get a lot of dump offs, and he only had one catch
for negative yards with Keon Coleman out this game. It does scream he should be a little bit more involved. A little bit more, maybe not a lot, a bit more, but he's going to be more involved.
I see a 6-catch, 54-yard day for Shakir. No touchdowns.
I saw 4 for 45, right? All right.
Yeah.
So you got
all right, next game.
Falcons at the Saints. Obviously, Penix is out. He's done. Season-ending surgery, it's looking like. So here comes Kirk Cousins and the grill and the diamond necklace. And Drake London's out. Is Drake London out this game as well? I know London is questionable.
Out, yeah.
Right?
Penix is out for the year.
You get Mooney. London's out for the year?
Penix is out for the year.
Oh, Penix is out for the year, right.
Yeah.
So you get Bijan, Algier, Mooney, and Pitts. And a Kirk Cousins who does not move more than 3 feet in the pocket. Right? Like in a circle. He can't move more than 3 feet. His feet just don't allow him to. They're actually like these little squares. They're not real feet, and he just like kind of blocks around a little bit. It's really weird. I don't like the Falcons in this game, but I can't believe New Orleans is given 1.5. So really nobody likes them. I feel like the Falcons are probably just going to run all over them because of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bijan's definitely going to be better situated with Penix because they're going to focus more on the run. Kirk Cousins going to dump more off. Penix just looks downfield, chuck it. Cousins is not scared to check down. I think Bijan's better with Kirk Cousins. Back to that point too. I know it's always tricky when you're what Giant T says, Thursday night game to a Sunday game, because if God forbid your Sunday guy gets hurt, then you're really not like you're not going to have someone to put there. You just got to either find someone on the waiver wire or go deeper to your bench, which you really don't want to do. Shakir is Josh Allen's one of his favorite targets. And for him to have one catch for -3 yards, I'm pretty sure Shakir is going to have another. It's going to have a bigger game, obviously.
I think you're going to have to gamble on the fact that Dobbs might be injured. Could Pitts have a good day? I do think Pitts has a good day. Obviously, they don't have a lot of other targets, just Pitts and Mooney that Cousins is going to have to throw to. I can see Kirk Cousins getting to like 230, 40 yards, airing it out.
Yeah.
Not more than 300, really. Unless if somebody like breaks a couple deep, like a Bijan screen or something like
Darnell
that.
Mooney could be a big day for Mooney.
Right, because Cousins has had a history with Mooney. Last year when Kurt went for 50, on that Thursday night game or whatever it was. I believe Mooney did have a huge game that game. So you might see a little bit of that.
We already talked about the Eagles, Cowboys. Oh yeah, go on.
So no, yeah, Bucks and Rams. This is a massive game right here, right?
Big game. Bucks have been kind of sliding a little bit. Now they've all been good losses, and the Bucks, haven't been healthy. But Bucks got to start winning, right?
Wu-Tang asked, hold on, but what's your Pitts prediction for catches, yards, touchdowns? If I'm gonna give it a number, I got Pitts at 5 catches. They're always like, middle, probably like 65 yards and a tutty, 560 and 1. I think in a PPR, he could put up like 18 to 19 points, something like that.
Yeah, I can't figure out Pitts. That guy looks so good, man. He looks so great when you watch him.
He's going to be open, dude. I'm telling you that right now. I like Kirk Cousins with only him and Mooney. I like him getting some work. I do. I like that. And honestly, I would be curious to what the Hard Rock props are on both Mooney and Pitts and be interested in taking a look at their catches, receptions, and seeing what their odds are even for an anytime if you're trying to sweeten it or something like that. Because I don't think it's just going to be Bijan or Algier getting the end zone. Somebody else is getting a taste. Bucks and Rams. What were you going to say?
No, go on. I was just going to – I'm pulling up the props.
The Rams are given 7. Obviously, these are 2 decent defenses. Is Bucky back this game?
To answer your question, Pitts is over 50.5 yards. And then anytime touchdown,
Kyle Pitts is kind of shading that the right way.
Kyle Pitts is plus 260. He's actually plus 2,300 to get 2 touchdowns, which that could be kind of fun to, put $10 on that. You win
right? No, yeah, that could be kind of fun.
$230. Darnell Mooney is Darnell Mooney is just under. Darnell Mooney's 42.5. Pitts 50.5 for yards. They're the top 2 receivers in that tight ends in that game. Back to Bucks Rams, so whatever. Right? Bucks have lost 3 out of 4. Right? Yeah. They got their ass whooped by the Lions. They lost 2 tight ones.
It was kind of close until the end, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Was that the
Monday night game?
And then they lost to the Bills, right? Didn't they just lose to the Bills or whatever?
Yeah. The Bucks, they just got whooped by the Bills, and then which was a close game too. Now the Bucks schedule gets really favorable after this.
Right. That's why I actually have the Bucks. I have the Bucks defense in a lot of leagues aiming for this playoff run because they do have some real nice matchups against what the Panthers, the Saints, and some other stuff like that.
It's going to be a tough game for them to win, but I can see Vita Vea disrupting it, getting up in Stafford's face, not giving him a clean pocket. And Rams are good, but they're beatable here. But after this game, the Bucks play at home versus the Cardinals, at home versus the Saints, at home versus the Falcons.
Yes, that's 3 in a row they should be able to reel off, especially because Penix is done for the year. They're gonna trounce Cousins. They're gonna trounce Brissett. I mean, and they're gonna trounce Tyler Shuck, whoever they're starting out there.
Yeah, Tyler Show. And then they play the Panthers and then the Dolphins. So those are games they can win, but you would like to see the Bucks beat a good team. They have beat good teams already, but losing 3 out of 4 kind of worries you a little bit. We got SPF.
I mean, as much as you say that, I still give them a little bit of a pass just because we haven't even seen them at full strength. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like they're still good enough to keep it close against most of these teams. And like you said, it took Josh Allen to have like one of his best performances ever to beat them. And they were still in that game up until the 4th quarter. So I will say
we got a new subscriber, SPF, asking who would you start, Wan'Dale Robinson or Alvin Kamara?
Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, this is a dream spot for Wan'Dale. Yes. I mean,
coming from a depressed Kamara owner. I know, dude. Hey, you can actually say, and I would take a screenshot of Kamara on your fantasy team because this is the last year that Kamara is relevant. He's done, bro. And I
can't figure that aspect out.
Like, see you later. Like, don't even worry about it. I'm sorry that you drafted Kamara in the 5th round thinking he was going to be a great value, get all the work, and the only show in town. We were talking about it. The guy who's behind him, Devin Neal, I think is his name. He's going to be the guy I think that they're going to have to turn to these last 3 or 4 weeks because I think Kamara, his run is officially done.
Yeah, and Wan'Dale Robinson, it doesn't even matter which quarterback plays this week. He's going to get the ball. They're going to be playing. They're going to be playing from behind the whole game. I'm assuming it's a PPR league or a half-point PPR, but no matter what, I love Wandale this week. It's a shit. I can't believe we're saying this, right? Wandale over Kamara. I never thought we'd ever whisper those words over the last 3 years. 2 years. Yeah, since Wandale's been in the league. This
I
is
mean,
third year.
Alvin Kamara scored 6 touchdowns in a game. Wandale Robinson might not ever score 6 touchdowns in a game. Like, it's probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, Wandale Robinson, I'm pretty sure doesn't have 6 touchdowns in his career yet.
Period.
But Wandale Robinson is a beast this year.
Yeah, he's the star.
And that's that.
I talked about Jackson Dart. I love all his weapons this week. I think he's going to line them up. So we're here at the Monday night game. Panthers at the Niners. Again, the Niners just continue to flaunt the easiest schedule for the remaining of the season. Purdy is back. This is the Panthers on the road, a little bit of a different team. The Panthers have been, a little up, little down. Obviously, you had Bryce Young and McMillan just get off last week, and Rico Dowdle is a very real thing. They do have some weapons, but the Niners are in Santa Clara, and they're probably just absolutely going to steamroll. I am excited. It's a Monday night game. I do want to see
Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy will be there.
Kittle.
Thank you, SPF. I appreciate you, buddy.
Jennings is back. You got McCaffrey doing his thing. I feel like McCaffrey going against his former team, this is going to be a fire game for McCaffrey. I think this is a McCaffrey game. It's his last game against the Panthers. You know what I mean? Like, for who knows however long.
Yeah. Going against your ex-team, yeah.
Yeah, bro. I think McCaffrey absolutely goes nuts this game. I will say Purdy probably has like one of those unsexy passing lines, but he probably still is very effective and has a decent game. He probably throws like 2 touchdowns, 1 to McCaffrey, 1 to Jennings. We're going to say Jennings for you, not Kittle. All right.
Yeah.
And then we're going to say he probably throws like 220 yards. You know what I mean? Something like that, like 220 for 2. And then they don't need much else. It's just going to be McCaffrey filling in the blanks. It's just going to be crazy.
And also, it's San Francisco's fighting for a playoff spot. This playoff picture is real murky. Assuming the Eagles win, assuming the Bucks win it, assuming the Rams win their division, there's only 3 teams left that can make it. Seattle's going to be one of them. I think Detroit's going to be one of them, and it's going to be between the Packers, Bears, or Detroit could win their division. The Bears are winning that division right now. The Bears, I think, come off a little bit, but the Niners, it's not going to be easy to win to make the playoffs in the NFC. It's a disaster if you look at it.
No, it really is. And one of these teams aren't making it, but I will say I hang my hat on the Niners, and I'll make the call right now just because they have an easier schedule than both the remaining teams that you were talking about.
Yeah, and the Bears we see sliding soon, right? They're 7-3. Let's see where they are 6 weeks from now.
3 teams coming out of the West, right? You definitely know Seattle, Rams, Niners.
Yep.
Out of 7,
so if those 3 come out, that means only one other wild card come out. It could be, I think Detroit wins that division. So it's going to be Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, or the Dallas Cowboys if they start getting hot, or the Carolina Panthers if they get hot.
If the Cowboys beat the Eagles this week and we beat the Chiefs on Thanksgiving next week, I'd be willing to then maybe throw our hat in there. But we got 2 big games that we can even win before we even talk about us sniffing around.
Yeah.
We got to beat the Eagles and the Chiefs for us to be in any conversation. And we got no defense. Yeah. So Pat Mahomes, I'd be like, if I'm a Chiefs fan, I'd be targeting a week early Tyquan Thornton and anybody else who you could try to grab that's going to be a Hollywood Brown, whatever. I think everybody lights it up against us for the Chiefs. That's for sure.
Yeah. SPF, we talked about the Thursday night game a little bit. I mean, I like Jaden Higgins tonight. I think he has a big day. I love the over on Jaden Higgins. I have to go back to tell you the exact yardage on that. CJ Stroud is out, but Davis Mills is peppering the ball around the lot, and we like Woody Marks. I think Shakir has a bounce-back game today, but those are some of the things we like. But, guys, we got to run. I got some things going on, some family obligations, all on the up and up. Buff, we pray for your dad. We hope everything works out.
Thank you,
bro. Yeah. And guys, thank you so much for listening. We love seeing the new names in the chat. We'll try to always get to every question. And
yeah, it's going to be a great week of football. We got some baseball, that's obviously all done. All the awards are done. Basketball, we're talking about how it's annoying right now. Football's the main thing. Stay focused in your fantasy playoffs. This is a few weeks left. This is the run that you need This is where there's a lot of teams, I'm sure, in your leagues that are either 5-6 or 6-5. And everyone's in that little locked up bubble. So make sure you make the right choices, plan for the future. And we appreciate you stopping by, man. Thank you so much, y'all.
All right, yeah.
Prop Stars out. Peace.
Peace.
Go Cowboys!